Okay, so hi to everyone. I'm Kaleon. Going to be playing here some MTT, some SNC, and we also have the Unibet 2K satellite going on top left. I actually doubled up here a moment ago. We can't raise call the King Queen versus any PP shove. So actually on the upper right, MTT bubble just bursted, and we are currently chip leader. Oh, actually, it's still direct bubble lines. Misreading. So it should be next person dropping out is the bubble boy. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't change the fact that we can't call that previous hand. This player on my left on the upper right has been doing some over 20 big blind open shows as well, so it might be because of the bubble. That would have obviously been snap call, but he doesn't shove. Well, if the big blind is sitting out, we can try to limp steal. Everyone folds. He came back. Well, top left we get great prize to call with the shooted king, and we flop the nut flush, so this might be costly one. Problem is that if this guy c-bets or bottom bets, that we might not have much of a fold equity for check shove, but we actually get this in now. Well, there's not too much point in betting. It's hard to get weaker hand to call, really. And upper right, we have to call the 10k to win the 30k. And we were alive, and we hit the straight, so nice. Nice one. Oh yeah, we have to call top left. I don't know if there is fold equity for shoving, so yeah. I will just call, and we might even win sometimes. Or if they have some king 9, we are splitting now. We hit the straight on the bottom left. But he bets again against players, so I think we are done with that hand. And pocket 8, 20 big blind deep on the bottom right. I'm just going to shove. Big blind waking up with the aces, which was a bit unfortunate. Well, let's move another table. We are in pretty good shape here. 12 big blind stack for min 3 betting almost. Well, I think I would just shove here maybe. I mean, if the big blind fold or something absurd like that, pretty massive thing, so I don't know if it's going to happen ever. This guy wins with 5-6. Premium play server. Is there value in these games? Have to wonder. But yeah, this guy 3-betting also, it was only 12 big blind, so if he had shoved, I would have to call the shove, so. I mean, we can call as well and play to hit basically, but. So now we are in the monies. Yeah, it's bottom races, so I'm not going to shout that one. If it was open folded to me, I would probably I would usually shove or limp shove. Or 2 lines I would usually use A7. I think it's probably a bit too wide. And let's try to go for small value on the bottom left, but we have quite a low flush, so, or mid flush, so I don't think we can go much bigger than that. And on bottom right I try to get some weakish pair to fold basically. And ace-4 will be fold against both will lanes. We actually got €50 game. Euro game running as well. The bottom right I try to get the lead position by putting some pressure. Might backfire sometimes, obviously. And king 10 off we could actually, I think this guy had been fairly aggressive, so I'm actually going for like 3-bet here. The blockers position. And top left I would open shove, but we can't really 3-bet shove here. And outside stable €50 game, well, I 3-bet it here, we have like SPR2 here, so I checked here, but I think we going to be best to just shove. If they have the 10x, we are going to be most likely losing anyway, so there are a lot of draws they could have. But unfortunately he has the queen 10. Doesn't know how to fold, it seems. Should be easy fold pre-flop, to be honest, but when you are lucky enough to fold something like that, well, that was quick €50. Quick €50 game. Lucky bastard. X4 is going to be pretty much my bottom of my range on the bottom right, so let's try to make cheap bluff. Doesn't work this time. Yeah, 10 shooters, but there is still 6 players behind, so yeah, I think it's borderline pretty much. I mean, it's it's pure chip EV at that point. There are MTs in the game, so I think it should be kind of okay. No, we just need to check out. That doesn't happen. I think it's pretty close, but not sure, not sure. I mean, 9-10 should definitely be shopping hand, I would imagine. And bottom left we have to call the queen check if he shoves, and I think we can shove probably. This is pretty physical, so he might even call with weaker sometimes. Around 200 down at this point, so haven't been the strongest session. Let's go for non-all-in on the bottom left. I could have actually used bit more smaller sizing probably. And of course, this is the downside of checking the turn, obviously, but of course, we can hit the open ender. Ace-9 pretty close, but I think I'm still going to be Ace-9 suited, Ace-10 off, I would go. You don't quite cover the villain on the bottom right, but I mean, if he calls and loses, it's going to be a huge chunk of his chess stack anyway, so we can put ICM pressure on him as well. Top right, we can go for min raise fold. And bottom left, I suppose we can check as well, we have some showdown value. Well, we could defend the top left, but just fold this time. I think it's kind of more often I'm folding that, but A6. Well, we are not that much ahead of the smaller stack, so I'm going to shout that. But if the smaller stack would be like half of what it was, then I think folding that is going to be the better option. And king deuce, well, I think in the NAS we have to call. It's only 7 big blind, blind versus blind. I think that had been decently active player at least, so should have the pretty wide range. At least. Let's try to limp. We don't really want to be. Well, we can shove that hand, but it's going to be kind of a marginal, and we don't want to be raise folding. So, and we actually have got shot both sides. Kind of a weird looking line. I'm thinking, do we want to just raise here? Of course, it's bad if he happens to 3-bet, but I mean, we are repping quite a bit of strength. And I think we don't have the diamond, but this is going to be one of the very few hands. We have air hands, and we also block the 4-5, which is somewhat of a plus, I suppose. And as default, I think I'm going to shove this one. Can be bad against some players, but well, I suppose he was trapping, so I think that hand shouldn't really be in the limp calling range. I mean, it's really rare that he's actually going to be like dominating any sort of hand, so I would be pretty happy to shove that hand, and I would have snap called against the shove anyway, so it's kind of a whatever for all. If you have read that villain is trapping a lot or something, then you can definitely obviously just checked here. And I think against that sizing he might be value betting weaker 9 sometimes, or bluffing sometimes, so it's tough to fold with those spot odds. Again, well, I think he should have just 3-bet shove preflop, and we would have ended that heads up at that point, but seems to be a bit of a weird guy. I mean, yeah, of course, has some good sides too. Just call the king queen that it keeps my dominated hands and so on in the range, but yeah, I think so shallow it would be much more standard option to be 3-bet shoving. We had the 4 and the gutshot. I think I try to go for the check raise. I mean, he's probably trying to bet the 8x. Again, if he has that. And on the bottom left, both will lane check again, so we should be ahead fairly often, and we definitely want to protect our hand here. We are not chip leader anymore on the top left. Haven't really had much of a hand recently. I would kind of want to shove here. He has been limping fairly often, so let's hope that he doesn't have the calling hand. I mean, one of the good things about that type of hands is that even if the villain has some sort of AX, we are often going to have decent equity anyway. Bottom pair, backdoor straight flush draw, which is completing. Oh Jesus, that was quite something. Wow. Unfortunately, he didn't have the ace of hearts. He lost to something on the top left. Quite funny that it actually comes backdoor. Backdoor, straight flush. The set on the bottom left. Let's try to go for the check raise. They don't comply with the idea, so anyway, they don't bet. I don't think they have the king X that often, so don't really want to go pot size or something here. And I'm just going to check here again for the showdown value we have. How the heck they teams they hit so often, those random 6-outers. Annoying stuff. I think ace 10 we have to call or shove against this guy, but usually not that thrilled about it, but folding is just too weak. Lose 4. Yep. And when he doesn't snap, well, I suppose it was some sort of move. Or he's slow rolling, who knows? Who knows? Should be easy decision before you make the 3-bet if you are stacking off or not. But of course with the recreational players that's not necessarily that far planned, and he has the better hand. Oh well. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why my session has been pretty crappy so far. Winning the heads ups gonna happen. What? We have ace 9 and 9 of clubs. Without the 9 of clubs, I would fold it here on the flop. Now the question is, do we want to bet and turn the hand into bluff or check behind? But if I had an ace of club, I might go for the bet, but let's just go for the check. Showdown with this one. I mean, we should have decent amount of showdown value anyway with that. Okay, high. But yeah, as I said, have been losing quite many heads up so far in the SMGs. And pocket jacks we kind of have to just stack off here. And we hold. Nice one. 2/10 on the MTT. I suppose 2/9. We are closing on the final table. Bottom right, it's not really good flop considering it's limped pot. We have the gutshot and 8 or queen could be good, so of course we have to call that. We are blocking the flush, but Question is, could we get some sort of and fold, but I think I just give up here. Maybe we could get 6 to fold. And outside the table we are stacking off with the ace king, dominating. We evade the check. And we hit the straight, but it's not much of a hand, and there is 4 of a flush. At least rarely value hand. It's more of a bluff catcher territory. I'm going to bet on the bottom right because it's going to be so often the best hand, and we want to protect. If we get check raised, we kind of have to continue. King deuce and he shut down. Kind of interesting. Massive line overall. I think I will go for 3-bet with the 5-8 and bet the a high. Right. Rapid jack, we can just fold in the heads up, I think. Even against the min raise. I think I will bet here we can barrel pretty nicely if the turn is club. Oh, he check raises. Well, that was easy. Easy folds 10. Queen 9, I would just check back it, not really much point in betting. No gut shot hit. And on the bottom right we can actually lead here. We could lead also with quite a few straight draw and shots. And then we are going to bet pretty big on the river. And he snap folds. I was thinking about, do I go for multiple bets with all these multi-street bets with the king high, or just check for the showdown value it has. Get tens, do we get some action? The top right we can also just check behind. I think both options are totally fine. Oh, pocket kings, and we get the shove. We just need to hold, and that is one good flop for that. I'm going to check on the bottom left. If he shoves here, I'm going to be hero calling. Oh. sitting out on the top left. Be open for some monster. Well, not that it really matters, but we don't connect in any way, so let's just check fold on the top right. Sometimes we can go for delayed c-bet or something. Something like that. He checks behind. The outside table, I'm going for check shove here. I mean, if he doesn't have two pair or better, it should be quite awkward. Awkward spot. Table disappeared. He's thinking at least, and folded. Nice, nice. And we hit the flush, queen high flush. Yeah, there is also straight possibilities, so I think we want to just shove it. He might have the better flush sometimes, but I wouldn't be surprised if he snap calls here with some 6x hand as well. And we have the gut shot. I think this is one of the most reasonable hands to be double barreling, but if he calls, I'm just going to give up unless we hit the 7. I mean, he should be folding 9 jack, queen 10, queen jack type of hands that I don't block myself, but suppose I'm just giving up at this point. He probably has king or some decent 9x quite often. Yep. Well, trips is not folding. I mean, after flop, small c-bet on the flop, he should have quite a bit more than just king x. His range, I'm basically trying to get everything else than king x to fold if possible. If possible. Pocket tens, I think I will just let's just shove. It's pretty classic spot if the villain happens to be typed 3-bet light. But unfortunately he has tiny bit better hand. Well, another heads up here. The greatest board run, so hopefully we'll then check. We have the queen of hearts, so does block. I did raise pre-flop, so 3x would be somewhat rare. And he was bluffing. Nice. Don't bluff the calling machine. This guy min raised, but he's won the flop, but he's min betting on the turn and river, so obviously I'm not folding at least. So we are on the final table bubble on the top right. And we want that heads up. Oh, we are still going to be quite a bit on the. I mean, he bet just 80. We have the guts of king high can sometimes be good, or king might be good sometimes. So let's peel the river and just fold if he bets again. Well, I think it's probably best to just bet small on the top left, hope that he folds, but he doesn't. But could we get Jack X to fold if we shove the turn? Flush draws should be folding unless it's King X, obviously. Or some, I don't know, pocket eggs or something are going to be in somewhat awkward spot. Well, I suppose there is something to steal on the bottom left. We can obviously fold against the other big stack, but has to call against the small blind. So we have the chip leader on the left of the MTT. Well, bottom left we shouldn't have a lot of fold equity, so I'm just going to fold that 7-9 top. I think it can be solved as well. Well, 9-4, I'm just going to be folding. Like 7 is definitely, well, we can shove any two as-wise. So I'm not sure if this was that solid of a player, so he might be doing some disaster calls. Well, total crap would have hit pretty nice this time. Also on top left there would have been some merit in check raising as well on the flop. But as played, we are just going to be checking the showdown. I don't think we can really value bet here. Dominating on the bottom left. And top right, I think I'm just going for single step and give up type play. I mean, if he's defending decently wide, King Jack will be missing quite a chunk of his range, and also because of his capped range, I'm going to have range advantage here somewhat. Somewhat at least. Oh, I actually won with the 9 high. That was quite something. Well, 7s I'm going to raise stack off on the upper right. That was justice, because that play from the villain is just absurdly horrible. Quick definement, definement, I suppose is the term. I mean, you have the position, so why the heck do you shove with the queen jack off? That plays really well post up, but it's not, definitely not value hand. So that was justice river, if there is any. Just such absurd play. Okay, it wasn't quite strong enough that I want to shove the 4 jack here. And king 6 was enough. And we are now getting 133 euros from the MTT. But actually use the where does the table jump? Question when you use that feature. I'm not raking 10 euro, essentially just 25 plus at this point. Jesus, that river was nice. Queen jack shove. So unnecessary move. So in the final table, well, there's not like total mini stack really. I mean, even the smallest one has 15 big blinds. So well, I'm not going to play this total crap stuff. Depends always on the final table that sometimes you can try to run the full table and everyone is going to be really on the tight side, but then you also have players that don't really seem to care about the ICM side in these MTTs, so it always depends. Well, 3-5 shooter, if it's folded to me, I think we can probably shove as well. Well, let's complete top left. We have a7, bottom is 20 big blind deep, so risk reward is not that great for the shove. It doesn't hurt that we have some AX in the completing range. We actually hit this double gutshot. Full gutshot with the high. Only here, if the button had shoved, I think we would need to call that one. And let's lead on the top left. It's definitely good to get some hands to fold it here. I don't think the ace is going to help really that often. Can probably value bet again. He increases the sizing on top left. I think I will fold here, because the thing is that I think extremely often Wilden is going to show up something that is going to be dominating my hand. And I run a flush on the top left. Well, pocket deuces will be clear shove hand. Seems like we got some action, monster hands. Oh, one more player out, price goes up. Never such bad thing. Well, top left, I don't have any fold equity, and I don't think we are doing that great against two-lane ranged here, so... Bottom right, we could actually go for 3-bet here, try to test the waters, so to say. Now, if the small blind happens to shove here, we have to call. That should be pretty rare. At Jack 9 we have 7 big blind and these blinds coming, so I think I will shove that. The vacuum, it's probably it's minus EV, but can take a little bit minus EV situations. I think pocket deuces we can probably open, because we don't necessarily face that many 3-bets outside of this small stack. And if we happen to hit the set against callers, it's going to be a huge deal like that. Of course, it's kind of a hard flop to hit, so I suppose we could try to check slow play. And bottom left, I just give up. Oh, overshove. That looks nice. We have the guards. Well, that was a bit of an overprotection for his hand. He can definitely bet here, but I mean, when he shoves, it becomes kind of questionable if weaker hand is going to be calling the issue. Oh, it's break time. So we are the clear chip leader. Here is one really small stack. Unfortunately, it's on our left, so it makes it a little bit harder for us to attack these middle stacks because we have to go. I mean, just meaning that we have to go over this guy, so he's the one that is going to be 3-betting us most eagerly in that spot, so that's the downside. Downside of that situation would be a lot better if the small stack was on our right and we could open raise on these guys' blinds more easily. And I'm just going to check call again on the top left. Well, luckily he didn't value bet for some reason. Should be pretty easy value bet with the ace-9. Ace-9 here. I think on the top left we can actually shove here. There is 175 in the pot. Bottom is folding like practically always. Except this time he goes with pocket sevens. Well, this guy bets 50 again, so he can basically try to get 2 pairs almost. And we might be good or splitting. Limp fest everywhere. Not the greatest flop on the top left. On the bottom left, it's going to be usually hard to get more than one street by betting on the flop. So usually if I bet the flop, I'm going to be checking the turn, then evaluating the river, but we can also just check the flop sometimes as well. Like pretty much same if we have some sort of pocket pair. It's often like especially red kings, queen jacks that doesn't need that much protection. It's kind of the same problem for them that it's tough to get weaker hands to call. So we want to have checking range, then kind of nice to check sometimes with the ace as well. And actually tried to stream this session, but like my connection was once again screwing around. Really didn't work good. We might have small chance to win on the bottom left, but I'm not going to be calling. This guy had 6-3. I suppose he was wimping that one as well. So that hand I'm going to open shove. It's folded, but I don't necessarily want to start 3-betting everything. This guy 3-bet me right away. I think on button it's rare that he has the king X. If he happens to have the ace, we can probably get him to call, and if he has better, we are going to lose our stack anyway, so really that relevant. Oh, he had the ace but spades as well. That was unfortunate. That was unfortunate. I mean, we can sometimes have the 10, but I'm going to make nit folds here. I mean, he could so easily take some 10x line. With the 10x, that sort of line. 8-9, limp call. That's the way you should play. That's the way you should play. Well, let's try to take the pot down. This guy limping with the king. Well, on the bottom left, I don't really want to stack off tiers, so just call and flop the mid set. We can probably try to get in value on the bottom right, so he can sometimes have better ace. And again, bottom left 3-betting doesn't really make that much sense. We hit the trips on top right. I think we want to just raise here and get the value from Jack X and some draws. 5-3, I'm just going to be raising here. Want to have polarized range. Some premiums, some little bit less premium. King 3. I don't think we want to really shove. It was suited then, sure, but... And I think here we should have a lot of fold equity for min betting. We might have some showdown values too, but I'm probably just going to check fold. And well, he could have some 4-5 type of stuff, so maybe against that sizing we can peel it, but that was the case then. Oh, he had the 8. Well, that's possible as well. That's the possible as well. Unfortunate that he had the 8 because he really rarely has the ace and we are beating all the 3 X's, so kind of only hand that we are behind of 8x, or only hand most of the time at least. Same hand. But jacks on the MTT. I think we can have some 3-bet folding range, so let's go for non-all-in sizing, wall sizing. Well, ace king, we will be 3-betting also. The stack situation has changed. I don't think the upper left that this guy is going to be limp shoving, so no issue in raising the king 10. If you are against players that is capable of limp shoving, then you want to think about, do you want to be raise calling or raise folding or just checking behind. But yeah, I think we have a bit over pot size here, so I'm just going to shove. He happily calls anyway with the plus draw. Do I get 3-betted once again? I wouldn't open total trash here anymore, but I mean Jack 9 is fairly strong hand. Or good hand. I don't know about strong hand, but not total garbage either. In 8, definitely defense material. Hit the king tier. Oh, this is standard stuff, so for me, I'm not sure about this guy. It might be better to just limp. But at least he folded this time. And top left we have to call against small blind. Pretty much any two. And split spots on the bottom left. Standard outcome. Really do much else than shoving on the top left. Flipping. Luckily we won. Just limp with the king 10, it has nice post-flop playability. I think we can still value bet still if he raises, it's a bit nasty. Because he should be repping flush mostly. I think I will be bet folding here. I don't think he's going to be bluffing that much. There's not some, maybe 3-4 could be possible, but I think there is a lot more value in just betting, and if he raises, we are probably going to be beat. I'm just wondering, do we want to just shove on bottom right? Probably best. You don't really want to be raise folding, and raise calling is going to be pretty marginal, I think, with the ICM could be bad also. Ace 10 call, and we win. That was huge. Not sure about his call, if it's good or not, to be honest. Can actually mark that hand and we see how it is. We take the let's double click. Well, I get the stack sizes nicely from that. Oh, that was set up. Fortunately, I didn't have a king X. But yeah, suited queen, we have to shove it here pretty much. Not really much other options. But 334 euros guaranteed. I haven't actually checked how much the winner. 150 euros. Well, I have been raising against this guy, and for Ryan is not usually hand I want to be making light raises anyway, because I think the downside of this sort of hand is simply that it's more easily dominated compared to some 6-4 and so. He checks again. I think we kind of, well, don't have to, but it's pretty nice spot to be getting, and we want the big sizing in general that we would also use with some 8x, 10x. And I think this is kind of a mandatory river bluff now, but we are now going to be representing more of a +2 pair category, so we want to go quite a bit bigger for some strikes or something like that. Nine of diamond is pretty nice card as blocker. Post on the top left. I would usually shove the 6-7, but I think against this player we can also limp because it has been so passive. But yeah, it's basically absolute bottom of my sort of standard shoving range here. Offshoot hand. So it's very reasonable to just limp also. In general, when you have kind of a borderline, is it profitable or not type of semi shoving hand, then you can definitely think about just calling it as well. Hey, she's. Well, now I'm raising against the limp at least. And no action. Well, don't really want to be checking aces to balance the checking range. Being 30 big blind deep. Just screaming for problems. They got all in 7-5. I'll have to check that from how they managed that one. If the Unibet replayer is working. I could have bet on the bottom right, but I mean, probably one of the best bluffing hands here. But can also check call against that sizing. I mean, sometimes we might be dead, but it should be pretty rare. Well, let's try how he reacts to 3x open raise. I mean, stack wise, we want to be raising a lot in that spot. Putting the pressure on the mid stack. And pretty crappy flop. have some showdown value, so I think we should try to get to showdown pretty much. And quite a setup on the top left as well, basically. Less than 10 big blind deep, so. Well, king 8, I have to call on the bottom left. Better, but that was one nice river. Bottom 2 on top left. This is actually kind of interesting spot to be check raising because basically I'm not repping that much, so I mean if the villain is thinking type of player, might do something pretty loose here. Well, this guy so far has been just folding every time I raise, so well, not this time it seems. But it's flop, good flop for my range, so let's bet. I actually didn't see what this guy had on the bottom left, but whatever. On both of those. Nice, nice. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Would have called against the small blind if he had shoved here. Let's just check. 7 can give us quite a lot of straight draw equity. And yeah, I did look kind of a lot to like Jack X here, but I don't know if there is that much value in raising the river. It looked like blocker bet. I think I'm just going to raise Finish fold here. I have actually been using 3.5x earlier because of the ante. I think we can just see, but here, well, I don't know. Just check back. Just wondering how much fold equity I have, but of course, if I get like anything to fold, it's pretty nice overall with the trees. But I suppose once we check, we want to just, well, we could try to represent some king x, but no, if we can get, and we should probably get some 8 pairs to fold here. Could quite easily have 8x, check x. Are probably not extremely happy about the situation in the river. Almost straight on the, oh, this is 50 euro, I actually didn't notice at all. Well, haven't gone great so far, but we still have pretty sizable stacked here. Oh yeah, I will probably play these to the end and not take new ones anymore. We have basically 125 euro from the buy-ins here, so we are actually not that much behind, not that much on the minus side. Of course, we are plus if I count the 330 euros we get at minimum without counting that. We are still quite close. Quite close. Break even. They had pretty big pot here. Oh, he hit the 2 pair. I suppose it went maybe check call on the turn flop and check on the flop and this guy bet. I think he should be betting bigger with the check X. To be honest, it's pretty drawy board as well. So I would bet like 20,000, 35,000 or something like that. Issues here. Yeah, ace is really crappy card on the river. Bottom can have a lot of those. Shove the queen check. And again, I have to call against the small blind if he shoves. Well, I can basically shove the king 8. I mean, if the small blind folds, big blind should be folding almost everything in a way, and usually people are not overcalling either as wide as they could be. But unfortunately that's all blind woke up. So it seems like he calls against the 3x really often and folds against the 3.5x. Or it's just a matter of variance in sizings or something. And now we have to call if this guy folds. We are ahead, he has 5 outer, and we wait. Well, heads up it is. Pocket 9 is kind of close. Do we want to? I think I just going to shove here. It's pretty, I think, quite thin to be raise calling ICM wise against the big blind. Oh, we are calling pre-flop bottom right. He bets small, we can check call on the flop. king high and some backdoors. So I think it's a bit weak to be just folding right away here. Yeah, I think we have decent showdown value, so. And I don't know if we get maybe some 6 or smaller could be folding. Yeah, I don't think that hand is basically ever folding. What happened here? So he was limp calling, so I could have bet a bit smaller. But had to bet quick before timeout. Before timeout happens. Again, bottom right, don't really see too much point in betting. Right, we are happily shoving. 6-3 would need to go against the PP. Bottom left, small blind basically shouldn't have much of 8x. Well, even with both players putting money in the flop, I will be calling. And with the open ender, those sevens probably don't have much showdown value anymore. I will be value betting here. We should be getting. We could have busted flush draw, so we can probably get some bigger hands to call. And we have the straight here, so definitely stacking off. And he has the same straight, even though we have the blockers. Well, against that small of a sizing, I probably have to go. And we are splitting. Well, we can raise the queen 10, but only issue is if the villain goes for limp shove. Going to be, well, we probably have to call at that point, but it's not necessarily the situation we are loving to be in. Okay, I'm just checking back on the flop. We have got back to 2000 on the euro. Too bad. Against this stack we have to stack off, so I'm going to be remaking sizing that dominates me against him, but I can still fold against this big blind if he wakes up. Well, I don't think he value bets weaker hand on the bottom right with that sizing. And he can definitely have a lot of 3x. Or yeah, I actually min raised, so it's not really true. I think if this was limped pot, I would fold, but I think now that I have raised, I will call. Good thing that I checked the situation. I did actually raise and not limp. This hand I'm going to be raising. Easy to fold if he limp shoves. And now we are in the easy 3-bet shove terrain, so to say. So Going to use more of limping as default. A crappy call from the wheel lane on top left. I'm not, obviously not going to shove wide in that spot, so it's pretty questionable if I have any weaker hand than king jack in my range. Which obviously make it pretty bad to be calling with king jack. Nice one of the outs. Flop the straight. Let's see if we get check raise possibility. Don't. I will actually try to go for delayed check raise. I mean, I think he has been betting quite often when I check twice, so. Well, this guy again, he shouldn't really have that much 9x in the pre-flop. Calling range. So check. Thinking too long for other hand. Ace deuce, I'm just going to shove. Always profitable, don't need to play post-up. Now let's just check the crappy hand this time. 10 has the straight here. This time he bets, but on the previous one he didn't get my check raise plan. Check raise plan through. I was thinking about betting on the turn to maybe get something value or something. And for protection, so that sort of stuff wouldn't happen. Well, yeah, I don't think we want to call third street. Don't even block the flush here, so but we can't really fold on the turn, in my opinion. This guy really likes limping. And have he raised single time pretty much on heads up. I mean, it's not really that big of an issue if we lane is shoving over 20 big blind, because he's also risking quite a bit. So sometimes I will have the calling hand. I'm not actually thrilled about raise calling this one, but by raising I at least allow him to have the chance to be chance to be 3-betting small, so I 4-bet shove, but so Jack, thank you. Oh, we actually got quads. We got quads here. Well, this was the end of that hand. We have the fizzy guy here on the €50. Good time to notice. Almost on the bubble, and I noticed that I'm playing against this guy. Kind of funny. Kind of funny. But yeah, focus has been more on the MTT. Oh, he min raises. Miracle. Miracle has happened. Fortunately, I don't have the juice. And again, I flop the set. Do I get any action this time? Snap folding both times. Oh, I could have actually limped this one. I mean, has he been calling my races recently? It seems like there has been fold or 3-bet shove. Definitely not close to optimal type of play. King deuce, we have some showdown value, but his size is big this time, so not gonna continue. Let's limp this one. Well, let's make the 3x so he calls my raise and doesn't fold. That theory didn't work. That theorem didn't work. Well, this guy is not raising my limp, I think, so I don't want to be balancing my limping range that much. Oh, he really haven't been doing this, so I wasn't scared really that he would be doing. Well, that was crappy outcome to be bet folding that hand. I was just thinking that when I have the club, if I bet, I can then be barreling some turns and so on. More greedy, gapply. Well, 2.5 chips call on the top left. And I suppose we are bluffing here. Oh, he cares. Unlucky. We cast on the €50. not gonna fold against the min 3, but well. I think I'm going to be triple barreling here. The queens. And hope he snaps off with some 9x or something like that. Top pair. Well, I think I will be calling that one, but it did look like a draw quite a bit. I was thinking that if he has like straight or 7-6, does he necessarily play it like that? Because when people are going for such huge over bets or over donk bets or shoves or something, it's pretty often for semi bluff. Well, 650 euro, not bad, not bad. Say if we get 180 euro or 160 euro or something from this 50 euro game, I think. The top pair and backdoor flush draw. Now he has some random 7x. Oh well. Funny stuff, funny stuff. Funny stuff. A runner, trips or full house. Okay. Basically same thing. That scenario. Well, that's what you get for slow playing, if you can call that slow playing. That's 3. Hope that he attacks my weakness now. Happen. Ace deuce, I'm just going to be 3-bet shoving. Oh yeah, let's look how much was it? 161 euros, 80 euros to second. Then 5. Pretty much on the borderline. Do I defend or not? Bottom pair, backdoor flush draw, perhaps flush draw, straight draw. Flush draw requires some imagination. If he checks, is there value in betting? I suppose we might get some king high to call sometimes. I mean, I think it's really rare that he has better hand if it's not like king 5 or something. But that's the problem, that if he's calling with king 5 and not calling with weaker hands, then it's not a good value bet. Surprisingly, it's not enough to have the best hand. Often villain doesn't call weaker hand. Let's lead here. Okay, well, we are just giving up. Probably. Yeah. We might even win 7-6 or something if he doesn't bluff. That is one bad flop. Let's use the zoom feature. That garbage we can just fold. I mean, yeah, this guy is passive, so we would probably limp that one as well, but I don't really mind to fold those. Oh well, runner full house needed. Almost. Oh well, annoying way to boost the stack, almost. Well, we still have some chances. Now it look bleak, but we got hope. Hope from the flop. Take 10 in the NAS, it would be up to 6.6 big blinds. Those is always profitable. We are ahead, and we are not ahead. Wow. Well, that was not meant for our win, it seems. But can't whine when you have, let's see how much profit. So 636 euro profit. So can't be too unhappy, even if losing that. Last heads up against the whale. Well, I don't know if he was doing really whale stuff on that heads up, but I think earlier he had been doing something absurd. I started at 19 my time. Totally sure, actually. Well, maybe it was counting the hours and profits. Really. Oh yeah, 650 euro or 36 euro. Pretty nice, pretty nice. I have something to. I actually had some hands actually from this same game, so let's run through those with some simulation. I shout here. Out here from the cutoff, there is 225 and it seems. Well, it's not. Don't need to be that accurate with these stacks. Here are the stacks. Blinds are 108,000 and 18,100. Whatever is the way to say in English. And 225, and we are. I think this was just zip EV situation. So cutoff range would be relatively okay with pocket trees. Not hugely plus EV, but somewhat. And villains are calling relatively wide, I would say. I mean, I'm still shoving 19 big blinds, so I don't know if people are really going to be calling even this tight, so seems like reasonable plate here. And we had this pocket 6C spot. I was thinking about, I think my shove is fine, but the villain ace then should it call. Good or not was one of the things I talked about. So again, let's put stacks in. Oh. This guy had roughly that, and it was 6,400 and 800 and I'm actually not sure about the structure, but let's use the 180 men from the stars. So maybe it's, I usually use that one because I haven't really studied how accurate, but I think it's somewhat accurate probably to what these structures tend to be anyway. So pocket 6 is going to be plus 0.11 if people are calling these sort of hands, and ace 10 shooter is actually absolute bottom here. Now of course I have capped range, but at the same time I'm not really shoving most of these more weaker hands either, so my range is perhaps something like I don't know what it would actually be, but yeah, I would want to shove, well, let's say that it's something like this, for example. It would be pretty horrendous call, well, almost 1% down, so I think this is closer to reality than alt ranges. I'm not really doing that much shoving usually. Usually with these deep stack depths. Oh yeah, I would say that my shove was reasonable, not super profitable, but okay, and his call was reasonable as well. Yeah. Those were the hands. Pretty nice session. I think we got some profits. Well, actually SNCs I think went pretty much break even, but we got most of the profits or all the profits from the MTT overall. Basically losing way too many heads ups on the SNCs once again. But anyway, pretty nice session. Thanks for watching, and if you like the content, please click the like button. Bye bye.